All right, we are live. What up and welcome back. I'm Jane, the plainest Jane. And over here on this channel, I deliver syrup in the form of Black news and celebrity updates. Welcome in, everybody. Come in and have a seat on the bus. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Y'all know that is how you pay your fare to ride my bus. We ain't got to pay no money to ride the bus. All you got to do is hit the like button. Listen, happy Wednesday. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. That was a slow clap. Let me see what's going on. Oh, okay. What's going on? Is everybody having a good day? I hope that you're having an amazing Wednesday, a productive, a prosperous, a joyous Wednesday is what I really hope and wish for all of you. Listen, I'm not even going to waste any time getting into what we need to talk about. You read the title, and there is so much. And when I say so much, I truly mean so much that we need to go over. I have a live scheduled directly after this. We're going over the legal documents, the entire lawsuit. So we're doing all things Diddy today. I'm covering all my bases today because I'm pretty sure before midnight strikes today, there will be another, if not one, multiple new Diddy headlines popping off. And I want to make sure I get everything out the way today so that I can come and report fresh for you tomorrow. So let's go ahead and go over the itinerary. We are talking all things Diddy. Everyone in every country, believe it or not, right? Country/continent, right? Is speaking out about Diddy, which I'm surprised about. Is he canceled worldwide? Yes or no? I want to know. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. We're talking about the countries. Australia has some things to say about Diddy. We're talking about some of the legalities, who he can and cannot talk about or name out in the public. We're talking about Young Miami, the documentary. We're getting into yet another company who has dropped Diddy by pulling and removing all of his music from their products. And this is just one of many companies who is attempting to cut ties and distance themselves from Diddy. We are getting into a former makeup artist of both Cassie and Diddy, who is now coming out and speaking up about what they seen, experienced, what they did to help or not help in the situation. Misa Hylton, who is both a former assistant and stylist of Diddy and other bad boy artists, but she is also the mother of one of Diddy's children. She's come out and she said some things. Cameron found himself in a tizzy. A lot of you may have heard about of that already, but we're still going to get into that. And we're gonna cover that just to make sure that we cover all of our bases. Dr. Umar is doubling down on his sentiments, and Slim Thug is facing backlash for his statements related to this Diddy situation. So there's a lot we need to get into. And like I said, there is another live coming up directly after this. I thought about putting all of this in one video, and I'm like, that's just going to be way too much to put this new lawsuit. We're reading each and every page of the new lawsuit in the next video, right? So it's really a full, complete breakdown of that situation. And there were a couple of rabbit holes I fell down while I was researching that situation. So listen, without further ado, Stickies, look, I know you've already paid your fare. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of this piping hot syrup, okay, pertaining to these celebrities. You know, things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. So I cover celebrities and I cover everyday Black news that affects everyday people like you and me. You don't want to miss out. So you definitely want to make sure you subscribe to the channel. You want to make sure you hit the like button and also share this video with someone who is following the case. Share it in your Discord via text message. If you share it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and your group chat, however it is that you share mediums, and talk to your homegirls, your homeboys, whoever, make sure you share this video. It's a great free way to support the platform. So listen, Stickies, without further ado, I'm not even going to waste your time because listen, it's not that I'm trying to rush, but there is a lot of information we need to get to in this video and the next. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and pull off, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Let's go ahead and go. Like the video while the intro plays. Also, drop some pancakes in the chat. If you are a channel member, drop your special emoji. Let go.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
All right, so we are back. Now let's go ahead and just get started. And we're going to get started with, if you don't already know, Diddy is actually making history with his key to the city that he was awarded in New York on September 15th, I believe it was, of last year. He's absolutely making history with that. Listen, I don't take up for Diddy. He deserves everything he is getting and more. He deserves to be brought to justice. He deserves to have his bank accounts drained, and he deserves more shame. But if you don't know how he is making history based on the key to the city that he was awarded, please make sure that you check out the previous live stream that we did here on the channel. You definitely don't want to miss that. Now, moving on, I know a lot of people were bringing this up, and I think a lot of people were, I don't want to say offended, they were bothered, or they pointed out, right, the fact that Diddy didn't mention Cassie's name in his extremely lame apology video. He didn't mention Cassie's name, and the reason why is because legally he's not allowed to. Now, when Cassie filed her lawsuit and everything that she documented, I read all of the pages of that lawsuit as well, because that's just what I do. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. I read every single page of the lawsuits as we speak about them, if I can get my hands on it. And yes, I have gotten my hands on the lawsuit of Diddy's sixth accuser that is suing him in the last 5 months. So Diddy doesn't have it easy at all. He's definitely caught up in a bit of a web, and we're going to break all of that down today. But if you did not know, per the settlement agreement, Cassie filed that lawsuit, and Diddy and Cassie, they settled that within 24 hours. And per that lawsuit, he is not allowed to say her name out in public in any capacity. So 9 times out of 10, the apology, although none of us believe it, he knew what ears it would fall on. And so he issued that apology in that way. Like I said, I ain't taking up for him, but this is just part of, just what it is. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clear. And let's go ahead and move on to our next thing. Like I said, we've got a lot to get into, so I really don't want to spend too much time on anything. Let's go ahead and get into Australia and what Australia has to say about Diddy. Believe it or not, other countries are actually speaking up and speaking out against Diddy. So let's go ahead and get into this, Stickies. Take a listen and let me know what you think.
There are calls this morning for Australians to boycott Sean Diddy Combs after shocking video emerged of him allegedly assaulting his former girlfriend. Deputy Opposition Leader Susan Lee has posted on X saying this should see Australian radio stations take any of his music off their channels today. Australia should send a clear message on this matter. Combs, who's been an influential figure in the hip-hop world, has previously denied the allegation, but he now apologised for his actions after CCTV of the incident was released. Entertainment editor Peter Ford joins us now. Good morning to you, Pete. Well, has this reaction been fair?
Well, I think it's a clear reaction. Anybody who saw that gut-wrenching video over the weekend, which we can't even show you in full because it's just too confronting and too triggering for people, we have to edit it down. And you can only just imagine what happened inside that hotel room before she decided to flee. I mean, anybody would look at that and say, gee, I hope bad karma for that guy. What can we do to punish him? And of course, anybody can take their own stand and do whatever they want. As for Susan, well, I think we've got to look at the motives of any politician wanting to join in something like this. But certainly she's making really valid points. But I don't think radio stations are playing his music these days anyway. Then you get into a situation of, well, do we ban his past catalogue, which includes his own label, ironically called Bad Boy Music? And they signed a whole lot of other artists Do we ban all of them as well? But if we do that, in fact, we're also punishing other innocent people. One of those artists signed, in fact, was Cassie, who was the victim in that particular video from the hotel.
Yeah, any of his music. I mean, after watching that video, and I can't unsee it now, it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
They should absolutely take it off their playlist. But I agree with you. So the likes of Mariah Carey, Lil Kim, Mary J. Blige, those sort of artists have been produced by Sean Diddy Combs or collaborated with him. They shouldn't suffer, should they?
Well, they shouldn't suffer, no, and that's the problem if you want to try and punish someone. And of course, this is also a very unusual story in that, yes, we do have an admission of what he did in that hotel corridor. How could you not admit to that? But of course, he's admitted to nothing else. And he was very specific in his apology video to make it clear he was only fessing up to that one incident. And of course, we have years of allegations and these recent raids, which you can see here. Trust me, the feds are working on a case and they are determined to pin something on him. Now, of course, it won't be that incident in the hotel corridor because the statute of limitations had passed. So he was quite safe in sitting there admitting to everything because he knows he can't be prosecuted for that. But I think, the court of public opinion has already decided and now remains to be seen whether that can be taken further.
Yeah, he should officially be brought to justice. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
Rolex on your wrist, thePLAINEStjane.
All right, Sticky. So what are your thoughts? What do you think? Australia is speaking up and speaking out about their disdain for Diddy. Do you think that Diddy, give me a yes or no in the chat, or a Y or an N if you don't feel like typing out the whole word. Do you think Diddy will be canceled, okay, globally? Because this is outside of the United States. There are other countries, other continents who are just completely disgusted by Diddy's egregious, it's like we want to say allegations to protect ourselves, but we saw what we saw on that video footage, and we already had an inkling based on the behavior that he's displayed over the better of 2 decades. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that he will be canceled worldwide? And do you think that he should be canceled worldwide? Any and all thoughts, be sure to keep it sticky and real down below in the comments. Okay. Now, we are going to move on to our next subject. Shout out to all of you here in the chat. Shout out to the channel members. Shout out to the moderators, my Discorders, and just everybody here on the live stream. It means that you are actually on the bus in real time. If you're watching the replay, it means you're chasing the bus, and that's okay. I appreciate you too. Leave a comment. Matter of fact, leave as many comments based on whatever goes through your mind. Now, what I really want to know from you all, and what I really want to get a vote on, okay? I want to get a vote on what you think about should Diddy's music, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like they should be removing all of not only Diddy's music, but everything that falls under the bad boy umbrella. Or if you feel like it's unfair and you feel like, no, they should allow artists, Mariah Carey, Lil Kim, Cassie herself, Mary J. Blige, to be allowed to still get their royalties and things of that nature. Put a 2 in the chat. So put a 1 if you think they should just wipe everything bad boy out. Put a 2 in the chat if you feel like, no, those other people, they didn't have anything to do with that. And as I was saying earlier, right before my internet kind of got a little wonky, I was saying this reminds me of when Bill Cosby got caught up on his mess and they wanted to pull the Cosby Show. But then it was like, well, how does Rudy Huxtable, right? And I'm using the names that were inside of the series. How does Rudy Huxtable? How does Theo? How does Vanessa? How does Claire Huxtable? I can't remember Lisa Bonet's character's name. How do they still get their residuals when they had nothing to do with Bill Cosby's alleged predatory behavior? Okay, let me just go ahead and cover myself here. All things stated in this video are alleged and according to reports. And be sure to think critically, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. That's just that. So put a 1 in the chat if you think they should remove all bad boy music, and a 2 if they should just remove all the Diddy music and allow the artists who were or still are affiliated with the Bad Boy record label to still get their monies. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm really curious to know. It seems we've gotten a lot of twos. In fact, I really haven't seen any ones. I don't see any ones in the chat, as a matter of fact. So that's really interesting. I'm seeing a lot of twos in the chat. I appreciate y'all for interacting with the polls off the cuff that and the questions that I asked. Yeah, absolutely. What's Jamal say? Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to all of you. It seems that we have a lot of twos here. But let's go ahead and move on to our next subject. And our next subject is let's go ahead. We're getting into Young Miami. Okay. So we're getting into Young Miami. And the thing about it is, listen, she's finally unfollowed Diddy. And I'm really unsure why I'm using the terminology finally. I really don't know. I really don't know. But she's unfollowed Diddy. But here's the thing. Does she feel like it's gonna salvage what is left based on how close and joined by the hip she has been to Diddy? The thing about Carisha, aka Young Miami, they are the same person, is she really has built. Once the City Girls, her and JT made it mainstream, she made it a point to utilize Diddy as as a catapult for her career. And she kind of tried to on other women or other, just in general, because she felt like, listen, I'm sitting here next to this rep, this hip hop mogul that none of y'all can get next to, all the way down to her making a fool of herself. She's holding up a sign that says "Go Pappy," while he's thanking Cassie for holding him down for the dark times. And he mentioned the dark times in his apology video. It's just crazy. So she was definitely, for a lack of better terms, and really just to simplify it, Young Miami was certainly social climbing. And she really felt like she cashed in. She felt like she found a sugar daddy and someone to, so because usually a sugar daddy is somebody you can keep in the shadows and don't nobody know about that. But she was able to find a sugar daddy. They gave her an allowance. They gave her more visibility. That gave her a podcast on Revolt when he was a part of Revolt. He has since stepped down. That was able to pay for her to get an award for a podcast that only had a handful of episodes and basically was barely out for a year. He paid for that award when there were other people putting in the work. She felt like that was more valuable than anything else. And she social climbed in the same way. So she got a 2-in-1. She got a sugar daddy and someone to social climb with. But now she is reaping the benefits, but they weren't really benefits of that of that situation, to be quite frank. I mean, the way that they are bombarding Mary J. Blige and Lil Kim to speak out and make a statement about Diddy, you can only imagine what Young Miami or what Carisha's what her comments look like. To be completely honest with you, I don't think that this is going to fix her career. She's really going to have to show up with talent. JT has, peeled off and is doing her own thing as a solo artist, and she is actually making good music. Carisha, on the other hand, some of the what is it, the CFWM, the Can't With Me song, and the half makeup and half no makeup challenge, it's just not hitting. It's not doing what she wants it to do. It's not doing what it should do, to be completely honest with you. So I'm unsure if unfollowing him is really going to provide any benefit for Young Miami, aka Carisha, in any capacity. But Stickies, I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the chat, whether you're here on the bus in real time or whether you're chasing the bus, watching the replay. What do you think? Is Young Miami trying to salvage what is left of her career by disassociating herself like every other business and several other artists have done? Is it too late for her to do this, or what? Any of y'all thoughts are welcome down below. But here is a screenshot that I grabbed for you all this morning when I was getting all of the things together for this video to give you all of the Diddy updates. Okay, so that is that. So moving on to our next subject. What is our next subject? Okay, so now we are getting into the documentary of it all. The documentary of it all. OMG. The documentaries that are coming pertaining to Diddy it's out of this world, and it's cracking me up because we got one on Netflix. There's so many different people coming out with these documentaries. And if it's on Netflix, I feel like it's good. One thing I do is I binge Netflix documentaries. Now TMZ is doing one with Tubi, right? But listen, 50 Cent said he was going to do one, and it looks like he's going to be following up on his promise. So let's go ahead and get into these details. Like I told y'all, look, I've done a lot of research. I fell down a couple rabbit holes while trying to get y'all all this information because it's so much. There are like 7 different Diddy headlines that come out every day. Baby, I'm not giving y'all 7 separate videos for every little baby headline. We're going to come in and we're going to give a full breakdown on all other Diddy things. And that's what's going on. Okay? That's just what's going to have to be happening. So let's get into this Diddy situation. Okay. So this 50 Cent, this Diddy documentary. So there have been several like Surviving Diddy or Diddy Do It type documentaries that are allegedly in the works pertaining to Diddy and all of the allegations that have been surrounding him and just the media frenzy that has taken place really starting in November of last year. Because the fact of the matter is we've all heard rumors and buzz about Diddy for far more dating back far before November of last year, right? But things have really been coming to a head starting November of last year. So there have been multiple people in multiple networks. And as I stated earlier, TMZ is doing one with Tubi. And that one is going to be called The Downfall of Diddy. Okay. And so 50 Cent actually, the documentary that he's doing, he's been trolling Diddy for the longest time, which is completely crazy. But he has sold his to Netflix. And listen, I know 50 Cent can be a piece of work. I didn't like what he did to Tierra Marie. And I don't even like what he's doing to Daphne Joy, who is, his baby mom, or I think one of his baby moms, to be completely honest. I don't approve of all of 50 antics. I really don't. But when it comes to him staying on Diddy's neck as a man, because women can stay on Diddy's neck, but what's Diddy gonna do? He gonna kick us in the neck, right? Like no pun intended. But when it comes to a man approaching a man, it like. So I'm happy that 50 is staying on his neck. And so 50 actually had his sold to Netflix. And here's what makes this such a big deal. If you didn't know, 50 Cent has his own production company, and it's called G Unit Film and Television Studios. The one that 50 Cent is producing is actually a multi-part series on all of the sexual assault allegations that have surfaced and took over the headlines as of late. And so apparently there was a massive bidding war that took place over the docuseries with multiple networks and multiple platforms trying to get a hold of and get a little piece and try to purchase 50 Cent's version of the documentary. I wouldn't be surprised if there's probably a 11. If there's more than 3 of the Diddy Surviving Diddy or Diddy Do It type documentaries, you know that this, I won't say it's worse than R. Kelly. Well, R. Kelly had 3 parts. Well, you know it's a big deal. At the end of the day, like, it's a big deal because you've got people from all over the place. The thing with R. Kelly is you've had one series that's it's a multi-series, right? So you've got parts 1, 2, and 3 all coming from the same place. Diddy has so much dirt and so much out there that different organizations and different streaming platforms are able to do this. So this is a big deal. And everyone was trying to grab it, but eventually for 50 Cent to be able to sell this to Netflix has really thorough, really through and through, not only series, but docu-series. I watch nearly all of the Netflix docu-series. They are really good. They are thorough. They're extremely detail oriented when it comes to fact checking and everything else. And what 50 is saying is that we're going to get it sooner than later. So we don't necessarily have a date, but they're saying you're not going to have to wait like too much time to see this. You're going to get this soon. That is crazy. It's completely bizarre. Baby, it's out of this world, okay? It's out of this world. So to get Netflix to buy your stuff, you really have to make sure that you are fact checking in the correct way and that they really believe in it, because Netflix not slapping their name on just any and everything. I know a lot of people like, oh, I'm canceling Netflix and everything else. Okay, well, I still got it because I be all up in the nooks and crannies of Netflix, and their docu-series are literally out of this world. I'm trying to think, what's the last one I watched? It'll come to me. The docu-series was called Ashley Madison was the last docu-series I watched. And it was called something like Sex Scandals and Affairs or something like that. And it was about like the website that was a dating website, but it was specifically for people who wanted to cheat, people who wanted to have an affair. And one of their slogans was, life is short, have an affair. And they were booming and making millions of dollars at one time. And then they all it came to a huge downfall when something happened. I won't ruin it for y'all. So this actually belongs on the new series or segment that I've created on my channel called Screen Talk. But yeah, the series be the series, the docu-series on Netflix, they truly be something else. Like for real. So that was that. And I can name a million more, but I won't get into that. But let's move on. We are going to move on now because we have too much to discuss for me to get caught up. There's yet another company that has dropped Diddy by pulling and removing all of their music or all of his music from their products. And this is just one of many companies to cut ties with Diddy. Okay. And so do any of you all know what that company is? Do any of you all know what that company is? I just want to know. So let me go ahead and pull up this graphic that I prepared. Y'all know I do a lot to prepare shows that are cohesive, that have graphics, so that y'all really understand what's going on. When I tell a story, I like to make sure I'm telling it. It's Peloton. Yes, I see a couple of people put it in the chat. Yes. So there was some people who were saying, oh, this isn't a big deal because I've never even heard of that company, blah, blah, blah. Make no mistake. This is a very large company. Okay, we got 260 people in the chat. If everybody could hit the like button, that would be great. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of information packed into this video that I have gathered and made extremely cohesive and palatable for all of you all. So if y'all can just hit that damn like button, that would be amazing and share this video with someone. So, when it comes to Peloton, let me get this a little bigger on the screen. For those of y'all who don't know, they are expensive. You know, it is a company that sells expensive fitness equipment, right? Equipment. And before I get into what the company had to say, the company's current net worth as of today is $137 billion. That is actually of May 20th. But what's really interesting about it is they came out and they made the statement to disassociate themselves from Diddy because they were getting a lot of statements and pleas and really just demands from their customers. Hey, when I get on my bike and I hit things and I'm hearing Diddy music, like y'all need to cut that out. Like, why are y'all still associating with him? What's really interesting is, like I said, as of 5/20, the net worth of the company was $1.37 billion. As of May 17th, they were worth $1.45 billion. And if you don't know, the 17th, I believe, was Friday of last week. So we had to sit with the horrible footage that we saw that was released, or leaked, should I say. We dealt with that all weekend because it was released on Friday. But it's really interesting that May 17th was a Friday. Let me just make sure. May 17th. Yes, May 17th was Friday. So May 17th was a Friday, right? And so on that Friday, before the video or the footage released or leaked of Diddy kicking and just being extremely brutal to Cassie, their net worth was 1.45 billion, but their net worth as of May 20th, it dropped down to 1.37. And I feel like once they saw their net worth drop, they then decided to really make a statement. It was between the net worth and all of the pleas from their customers who were riding their bikes, because they sell a variety of different machines, right? So Peloton is a fitness company that offers content through Peloton bike, Peloton tread, and other machines that they sell. And they are expensive machines. They be 2,000 plus, machines or whatever the case is. And so this is a company that came out in 2012, beginning of the year 2012. And, artists actually ended up making a lot of money when and if they, Peloton decided to have their music. Obviously, if you're a person that works out, whether you're on the treadmill, the bike, whatever the case is, music helps. Music really helps you work out and just get in the zone and do whatever. So they had to license a lot of music to get their customers really into the groove. And so, honestly, Peloton had contributed $267 million in revenue to the music industry just last year. So there's some people who are like, I never even heard of that company. It's not a big deal. You just don't know about that company. But there is a market for it. I knew what Peloton is. I've been looking at Peloton devices. I just haven't got one. And it's not that I can't afford it. I just don't have the space. Like this year, I'm really trying to get my credit together so that I can get into space to move into my dream home in the next 2 years. But that's a whole nother thing. But for the people online who are like, I've never heard of this company, it's not really a big deal. It is a big deal because this company, like I said, is worth over $1 billion. Now, even though they were worth 1.5 billion before the Diddy stuff leaked, and then the Diddy stuff leaked and it dropped down to 1.37, and they said, okay, listen, let us make a statement and let us cut ties with this man because we ain't going to keep having our net worth drop for him. Like we just not going to have it. So let me go ahead and read a bit of this statement, and I have it here on the screen for you all. We take this issue very seriously, and we can confirm that Peloton has paused the use of Sean Combs' music, as well as removed Bad Boy Entertainment Artist series on our platform, Peloton. And also, they said this means our instructors are no longer using his music in any product classes. Again, thank you for sharing your concerns and thank you for being a member of our Peloton community. I want to also mention that they also noted in this statement, we hear you and we've something. It's that we hear. So when a company starts a statement off that says we hear you, it means that they've been getting a lot of complaints or messages about the same thing. So a lot of people have been messaging them about how problematic it is to still have Diddy's music. And so the Peloton machines is basically a bike or a treadmill that has a screen on it, and you're either listening to music, watching the instructors play to the music. And so they've had to license a lot of music, the Peloton company. You can see I have their logo, their emblem right here on the screen. And so the thing about it is, if you've noticed, because the thing of listen, Peloton, very amazing product. It's just kind of pricey and the price continues to go up. So the price of Peloton, if you've noticed the subscription price increasing over the years, it's because the music licensing is a very expensive process and they continue to try to expand their library because everybody has different music that really gets them into the groove of working out. And so if you've noticed the price of the subscriptions going up over the years, it's because the cost of music licensing over the years, and that the cost of the music licensing is a large factor in the equation of the pricing of the Peloton world. You'll have instructors coming on and doing classes, so you don't have to leave out and like find a gym to do a cycling class. You can have your cycling instructor right there on the screen in real time, pre-recorded, live. People who like to go on hiking trips, they're like hiking VR, virtual reality type of hiking and on the bike. There's the options are completely endless when it comes to the Peloton stuff. No, I don't have one, but I've seen them for years. I have friends who have them, so I'm familiar with the company, although I don't have one of their machines. But yeah, they're pricey because the machines do so much, and even the subscriptions get to be even more expensive because they have contracts with like Beyonce and other large artists where you're doing, and it's obviously pre-recorded, right? But there's like a workout class like with Beyonce and on one and two and one and two and one. So you can get an exclusive class depending on what tier of your subscription you're on to get some sort of like workout class or to be able to work out with some of your favorite artists. And do you know Beyonce's price? Hell, do you know K Michelle's price or Keisha Cole's price or Jill Scott's price or anybody's price? Baby, it ain't cheap. And they have to pay a lot of money. So those prices go up and they're removing Diddy from that. And so that's what Peloton is. For the people who don't know, now you know. All right. So let me go ahead and move on into our next topic. Yes, it wraps. Said, hey Jane. Hey, 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 what's up? Thank you for being here and support the stream and subscribing and all of that good stuff. All right, we're gonna get into our next excuse me, we're gonna get into our next topic, which is in reference to the former makeup artist of Cassie in particular, because she actually ended up becoming friends with Cassie. But this is a former makeup artist of Cassie, of both Cassie and Diddy. We want to get into what she had to say. don't know. I really want to know what you all think of this. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the clip up for you all. Okay. Go ahead and pull this up. Oh, no. We gonna go ahead and pull this up, but do we see it? Do we have it? Do we have it? Do we see it? Ah, your time up. Why is you not clocking out? Let's see. Are y'all enjoying the show? Let me know how y'all. Oh, okay, we have it. Are y'all enjoying the show? Let me know any and all thoughts down below. Let's go ahead and get into this.
Former good friend of Cassie's is coming forward to say that she feared for Cassie's safety and her own.
We were always scared of Puff. Like, he's a powerful person, and we don't know what would happen to us if we spoke out.
Mila Morales, a makeup artist who worked with both Diddy and Cassie, spoke with our special correspondent, Page Six's Carlos Greer.
Did you know about the physical abuse? Did you ever hear stories or beating her?
I did not know. But I witnessed it.
Mila recounted an incident at the Beverly Hills Hotel one Grammy weekend, more than a decade ago.
What did you hear? What did you think you were witnessing?
I don't even want to like go back to it because it's like it's triggering. All I witnessed was him walking into the room and saying, "Where the is she?" And I didn't know what was going on because I was like, I just woke up from a slumber, and next thing you know, all I hear from the bedroom was, you know, just, I don't want to like go back and think about.
So you're at the Beverly Hills Hotel, you hear something. You don't see Puffy actually physically attacking her, but you hear something.
I did not know what was going on. All I can think of was to get her out of there.
What happened when she appeared, when you saw her?
She was bruised. I mean, badly bruised, like knots on her head, a black eye. All I cared about was to get her to safety. And I took her into my house and kept her there for a few days. And I literally called my friend, who was a doctor at the time, to treat her because we couldn't bring her to the hospital. We didn't know what the hell to do at that point. You know, who are we gonna call? I'm scared just even talking about this, but I feel like somebody has to.
What did you make of his apology?
My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Just a PR stunt? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, he didn't even mention her name. And if he was apologetic about it, he would mention her name, but he didn't. And that's what I don't understand. And I just,
you see, she along with many others, right? So I won't blame her. Come down, you know, she along with many others didn't understand that Diddy is not allowed to say Cassie's name, essentially, per the settlement agreement. Oh, jeez.
to do at that point. You know, who are we gonna call? I'm scared just even talking about this, but I feel like somebody has to.
What did you make of his apology?
My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Just a PR stunt? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, he didn't even mention her name. And if he was apologetic about it, he would mention her name, but he didn't. And that's what I don't understand. And I just feel like he's a great, talented Mr. Ripley.
We reached out to both Cassie and Diddy's teams for comment, but did not receive a response by our deadline.
All right, Sticky. So what are your thoughts? Do you feel like the people who are speaking out now are just a little too late, a little too wrong, but I can't wait? That was a little JoJo. Um, but I'm not a singer, so child don't. Do you feel like they're a little too late? Do you feel like they are a day late and a dollar short? They should have spoke up earlier. I did hear her say that she was a little worried about speaking out, and I totally get that. I totally get that because Diddy is he's a person full of revenge, right? And he is a person with a lot of power. And there are a lot of allegations surrounding Diddy, right? We saw in the paperwork that he allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car because him and Cassie broke up and Cassie was seeing Kid Cudi. And there have been a lot of suspicious deaths allegedly at the hands of Sean Combs. So there are people who feel like their lives are in jeopardy by speaking out against him. This could also lend itself to why Cassie took the amount of time that she took in order to not really not only speak out but to actually file this lawsuit. So some people are extremely bothered by how long it took anybody who witnessed something to speak out. And then there's some people who understand the danger, the imminent danger that these people may have been in by speaking out, them just trying to stay alive and trying to stay safe. Kid Cudi wasn't even somebody who was speaking out against him. He was just, a fling or a boyfriend or a person that Cassie was seeing when he and Cassie, when Diddy and Cassie split up at one point or another. And his car got blown up allegedly by Diddy. So it's really interesting to hear and to see what everyone thinks about the power that Diddy has, the lengths he's willing to go to when he's angered, when he's upset, when you're saying or doing something that can ruin his plans, his desires, when you're getting in the way of him trying to control something, an event, the woman that he wants. Any and all thoughts? Make sure to keep it sticky and real down below or in the live chat if you are here on the bus. This is some really interesting stuff that we're going over here. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Let me go ahead and get that off of the screen. I would really love to know what you all feel about this. Okay. So let's see. We're going to get into our next subject here. And our next subject is going to be Cameron, baby. It is going to be Cameron. Killer Cam. Let's go ahead and get into what Cameron had to say. And we're then going to get into his response. Let's take a look. Please be sure to hit like or thumbs up on the video and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the syrup in the form of Black news or celebrity updates.
I want to play a conversation that you had on your podcast back in September with Mace. Listen.
Yeah.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
Man, it's almost going to bring me to tears to say this. I just, being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to put you with somebody I knew with.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of people ask me that on Instagram, man. Don't have me just out here crying and shit, man. I don't want to get emotional in here, man.
Instantly, I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said. And of course, that's my brother. So if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is, and y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there, but for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting
Cameron,
around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. You enjoy.
Roll us on your wrist, thePLAINEStjane.
Stickies. I say, Pancake Posse, where you at? What was this? I saw this the night it happened. I listened to the Breakfast Club cover it, and they was like, Cam did good. He did good because he could have really went off. And I said, what? He did good because he could have went off? I know you fucking lying. I know you lying. Did we all watch the same clip? What did I miss? What I miss? I missed something. I mean, I know I missed Jane, but what did I miss? There's something that I didn't catch. But here's how I you know what? Wait, I'm trying to find the book. Wait, okay, the bush to weep. Oh, okay.
It was gone. Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
Let's be real. Not only let's be real, let's be fucking for real. Come on. All right. Thank you for the channel members using our bush weep emojis, because it's very necessary in times of need like this. This is most certainly, without a doubt, a time of need. Okay. Now, let me see. Interesting. So let's get into his response. He actually kind of had like two responses. So let me get into that and just show y'all and make it a little big on the screen. I'm gonna tell you how I feel in a minute, right? And why I feel that way, because y'all already know how I feel. I won't say I'm disgusted because I won't give him that much energy, but this behavior was just bizarre to me. Bizarre. So he put in his stories, fuck, they invite me on CNN for. I'm like, okay. And then he posts, not hashtag, but at Pink Horsepower. So, if you don't know, right? Cameron has a podcast that he hosts along with Mace. Mace, who used to be very much signed to Bad Boy Records. He was like, from the outside looking in, he was Diddy's right-hand man. They were very much together, all in the videos. It was all in the video. Very much doing the thing. Mace went off, he peeled off and became a pastor, and now Cameron and Mace and a few other folks, they have a podcast together. I was going to say Comcast, but Comcast is the one effing up my Wi-Fi, but don't pay that any mind. So they have a podcast together. The thing about Cameron, though, you see why he has added pink horsepower is because he has a male enhancement product that he has come out with. Y'all know a lot of people was rumoring Kevin Samuels to be on the honey packs and Red Bulls, and they said that that's what took him out. Now that's just a long-standing rumor, but for the men who know, they know, and even there are some women who knows the honey packs is what the men take, an hour or prior to getting the cheeks right, so that it helps them perform better and stay harder for longer, whatever. It's a sex enhancement thing at the end of the day, and that's what this product is. So him taking a sip of that in the midst of their interview, I do think that it says something and it lets me know something, even though I still feel like he acted a fool. Let's take a look, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel the way that I feel here.
I want to play a conversation that you had on your podcast back in September with Mace. Listen.
Yeah.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
Man, it's almost gonna bring me to tears to say this. I just, being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to put you with somebody I knew with.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of people ask me that on Instagram, man. Don't have me just out here crying and shit, man. I don't want to get emotional in here, man.
Instantly, I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to...
That was very intentional. Sorry, I'm about to get some cheeks off this horsepower joint. He definitely made it a point to intentionally plug his own product, because this is a product that this is Cameron's product, this male enhancement situation. But let's continue.
Biggie, I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said. And of course, that's my brother. So if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. And y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there. But for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Yeah, who?
Yeah, he definitely dodging Diddy questions. It was a very simple question. My thing is, if us regular civilians have heard the rumors about Diddy over the past decade or more, some people just heard about it in the last 10. Some people heard about it 15, 20 years ago. If us regular civilians have heard about it, these celebrities have definitely heard about it. But this is something that he doesn't want to speak on. The why to that? We'll get into that, but let's continue.
Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah. Wow, and I don't be sitting around. Who the talent agent?
That Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Yeah, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. You enjoy.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
So, look, my thing. My thing is this. Does it seem like he was either blindsided or just ill prepared for the interview? Oh, yes, absolutely. It really seems as though he didn't expect Diddy questions. It's not that he doesn't have slight Diddy knowledge in his head and the ability to answer these questions. Oh, he absolutely has certainly heard some things about Diddy, because we all have over the years. If at the very least over the last 5 months, you've heard some things about Diddy. You just refuse to acknowledge and answer the questions. The thing about it is he handled it with ignorance. He handled it with ignorance. There's a way you cannot answer a question or say, I'm not answering that, and just blank stare. I'm not answering that. That's not what I'm here for. So I think that the ball was dropped. I think that, first of all, he was confused about what he was there for. He made it a point to be very rough around the edges about the way he forced the promotion of his male enhancement product into the interview and said, "Oh, I'm about to get some drinks. About to get some cheeks after this. So I'm drinking some of this horsepower," because that's his product. So he thought he was there to promote his product and his podcast. But instead, he was asked questions about Diddy. My thing is, when interviews are booked, you have a conversation. There's when maybe not you, your booking agent has a conversation about what the subject matter is going to be. And if the subject matter is suitable and if it fits your brand and the media company's brand, and if it makes sense for us to mesh together. Like, for example, if you are talking about sex toys and I'm a Christian brand, this don't match. So I'm not just booking interviews without asking, hey, what we talking about? What's your brand about? XYZ. Because, a Christian brand ain't going to mesh with no damn sex company. Yeah, So he clearly was blindsided, or his booking agent didn't do the work that needed to be done to talk about, hey, he's here to talk about horsepower and the podcast. And that's what it, because there was no questions about horsepower and the podcast. There was no questions about that. And so I think the ball was dropped on both ends, not just one. So there's some people that feel like, oh, Cameron was right because she kept da. I think the Cameron's booking agent really has some room for growth and improvement, because why didn't you communicate with CNN what was on the table and up for discussion and what was not, and talk to Cameron and say, these are the types of questions and the subject matter that's going to be what we're going to be talking about here in the interview. And the fact that CNN wasn't clear with his booking agents, or maybe CNN was, right? Maybe CNN was like, we want to talk to him about Daddy. And maybe his booking agent just kept it to itself. The ball was dropped either on one or multiple fronts. That's just what it is, right? That's just my thought. Let's get into what Cameron actually gave us a response. The questions that he expect. Hold on, what? The question that he expect. He hasn't been hot since 1935. Not 1935. Oh Lord. Let's go ahead and get Cameron actually explains why he acted the way that he acted. Let's hear. It doesn't change my mind. It doesn't change my mind on it. I feel like he really needs to be speaking about how his booking agent, talent agent, whatever, dropped the ball here. But let's listen.
Yeah, let's actually talk about that. Before we even get into the questions, like elephant in the room, you were on another show.
Yeah, I came. I didn't even go home last night because I went to the studio. I washed up though, so I'm good. I ain't gonna explain none of that. But yeah, man, you was gonna say something? Oh no, I seen your hand. Yeah, no.
You up in there smelling musty. Cameron, is you up in there smelling musty? What's going on? Okay, let's go.
They invited me on the show to talk about what's going on with Diddy and all that. And then my thing about it was, Mace, is that they didn't invite me on to say about how successful our show is or the positive stuff we do in the community, how every day, 5 days a week, Mace talks to kids on a Zoom call. Mace doesn't.
Again, whose job is that to confirm and convey that this is what y'all do on a daily basis? It's your booking agent's job. Hey, we want to come on CNN reached out to y'all. Okay, bet. Cool. We want to talk about the podcast, the positive stuff. You just said, oh, y'all want to interview? Cool. Let's do it. Let's set it up. Let's go live at 7. Like, no. What are y'all talking about? If this was what y'all wanted to talk about, how did y'all expect them to just know? No, there are conversations that are had when booking an interview about the subject matter that y'all intend to discuss. And that's where some people set their boundaries. Y'all are behind the scenes before the interview is even confirmed or agreed upon. And people are like, we want to speak about A, we want to speak about B, and we want to speak about C. And your booking agent's like, C is off the table. That's not something we try and discuss. That's not something we finna get into. We're willing to do A and B. We're not willing to discuss C, period. So it's the fault of your booking agent that you didn't know what was going to be asked of you, that your booking agent didn't even bother to ask what's going to be discussed when clearly all they wanted to talk about was Diddy. Hello? Okay.
Even promote this. I'm going to promote this for Mace, is that every day at 5 o'clock, it don't matter what's going on, what's happening, where he's at. It could be money involved. It could be a photo shoot. It could be whatever. He stops what he's doing.
Somebody said not Cam. Hold on. Somebody said not Cam smelling like what? Not Cam smelling like muscatella. No, you know what he's smelling like, at least here in Baltimore, Maryland? He out there smelling like Egyptian musk. He out there putting little Egyptian musk on top of the musk that already exists. Because, you know, some people wear Egyptian. He out there smelling like Egyptian musk. Put an 88 in the chat if you know what the Egyptian musk is all about.
Talk to kids around the world about being positive and doing what they believe in and so on and so forth. And to the point where, you know, one day he was at my house and he told me, Cam, you can't make no noise. Don't come in. I'm not playing with you. Like, that's how serious, no, but seriously, that's how serious he takes what he does. And we do all these positive things. And you call me on CNN for the bullshit, I'm going to give you the bullshit. That's just what's going to happen. So we got some free promo. I teased the Pink Horsepower. They tried to bring up when Mace bought me the Biggie instead of Puff, and I said, yeah, if you seen it, what you asking me about it for? Like, nigga, it was self-explanatory. So I got us some free promo. I didn't get the shout out to Dipset Couture. Make sure you go online to dipsetcouture.us to order some shirts and everything else. But yeah, I just felt that you tried to use me, to whatever Diddy going through to down him. And listen, the video, I don't support it. I don't believe in domestic violence. I don't believe in anything that has to do with being a pedophile. I don't believe in sex trafficking. I think what I seen the video was egregious, and the charges are fucked up. They're really fucked up. Oh, wait, but nigga, I said what I said. I gave a disclaimer at the beginning. Then we got on the commercial. That was that. So that's how that went yesterday, man. I don't know why they didn't watch 60 Minutes. They ain't watch Bill O'Reilly. This is what I do on them joints, boys. Y'all keep inviting me up to Fox, CNN, 60 Minutes. Y'all already know what the resume is with them shows with me. But yeah, that's what happened, Stat.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of questions, so I just wanted you to clarify up here. But you guys know we film 5 times a week. He had the Pink Horsepower up there. Y'all seen it. And if you haven't seen the video, it's on Cam's page. You can go to his Instagram and check it out. And also, again, shout out to Mace for always being positive and doing good things, because that's what we do over here.
Right. And real quick before you move on, That's what I really want to focus on, because I know we play and joke a lot, but y'all call us up there for that and don't invite us to talk about shit that's positive. Y'all called me like this. We did this in less than 24 hours. You could have called us up for a bunch of positive different things that we do, but you won't play.
So if you saying that they don't call you up there to talk about positive things, then why wasn't it the job of your booking agent to make sure that y'all had the positive thing? Because I'm not discrediting the positive thing that their podcast does, that Mace does, but for you to say, and if you had said this in real time while you were in the interview, it would have definitely come across different. It would have made CNN and even the journalist Abby herself look crazy. But you didn't say that. You just gave off ignorance, and now you want to give us this, like, political response, and it's crazy. Y'all don't want to call us up there for the positive. You want to call us up there for the negative. Well, with that logic, if they called you up there for the negative, you act like you didn't know you was up there for the negative. It sounds like you thought you was up there for the positive. So it seems like you need to get your booking and talent agent intact to really understand what the interviews are about when you go there. What's the subject matter when I show up? Is it about something positive or negative? Because I'm trying to go up for positive things. I'm not trying to go up there for negative things. You don't have to agree to every interview that's offered to you. You are Cameron, for God's sakes. While you might be ignorant, while you might have no home training, but you might still have a lot of money and be a boss, and you and Rick Ross and the entertainment industries, right? You need to be able to structure and ensure that any interview you do, if it is your goal to talk about the positive, you have to be extremely strategic with the way that not only you seek certain interviews, but accept certain interviews and go over certain things with these networks prior to. You have to negotiate, just like you negotiate money. You got to negotiate the topics. I'm willing to talk about XYZ, but I'm not willing to talk about ABC, because this is the tone that I'm trying to get off with this interview. So this is a little bullshit to me. Y'all invite us up there for negative shit. Well, then if that's the case, you accepted the interview for the negative shit. Hello? Y'all invite us up there for negativity. Now, if you were able to sit up there and say, hey, we agreed to talk about positive things, we agree. But truth be told, you weren't up there trying to talk about ABC 1, 2, 3 and Mason, the kids, and da-da-da. You were up there to talk about some sexual enhancement product that you do. Is that positive? I mean, yeah, it's positive for the people that want to fuck. But that's not necessarily positive or for y'all podcast. So you talk about y'all ain't inviting us up there for positive. Y'all inviting us up for the negative. She wanted to talk about Diddy and you wanted to talk about getting some cheeks. Sound like both of y'all wanted to talk about bullshit. You wasn't trying to talk about Mace and highlight what Mace does. You don't even do the positive stuff that you talking about. You had to bring up Mace in order to deflect from all of the negativity and go ahead and say, well, Mace be doing all this positive stuff, and I was up there to talk about the positive stuff, and y'all invite us for negative stuff and not the positive stuff, but you accepted the invitation. You didn't ensure the subject matter and what was supposed to be talked about, and you're not even involved in any of the positive stuff that you're talking about that they should be inviting you up there for. You got to drag Mace into the goddamn what you call him. You talking about something that'll keep your dick harder a little longer than what it would be because you're 48 years old. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with it. Miss me with it. Okay? And that's just that. But let's continue listening to the rest of what you got to say.
Play games, that's what you got. That's just what it is. And I don't think we was playing games. I just went up there to promote all the different things that we have going on.
That's what's up.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
And I'm saving my takes for the documentary.
Yeah.
So if y'all wondering how I feel, it's coming soon. Pause.
Yeah.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
Ciao. Okay. That's what he had to say. And the documentary, what documentary, Mace? Where can we watch it? Is it the one on Tubi? Is it 50 cents? Is it your own? Where can I want to see it? I'm gonna watch each and every single surviving Diddy Do It documentary. I'm gonna be watching each and every one. But Mace, what is you talking about? Where can we watch what you talking about? Where? We want to know. We want to see it. We want to be a part of it. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm just so tired of the. I'm
tired. I'm tired. I didn't have it up to here. I had it up to here.
I'm sick of you celebrities trying to deflect, and I'm just tired of the mess. Okay? I'm tired of the mess. Did 50 do the documentary? Yes, 50 did the documentary. He sold it to Netflix. I see somebody in the chat asking that. I see that you must be late to the stream because that's something we covered in the beginning. Nonetheless, let's continue to move on. We are getting into we're getting into Dr. Umar, and then we're gonna get into Slim Thug. Okay. So we're going to get into Dr. Umar and then Slim Thug. If you haven't already taken a moment to hit thumbs up on the stream, please make sure you do so. It is a free way to support the channel, but also you can ensure that you support the channel by subscribing. Okay, subscribe. You can also share the video with somebody. Let me go ahead and get. Wait, you know what? We need to get into Misa. Actually, before we get into Dr. Umar, we need to get into Misa. Because I'm realizing that's something we haven't gotten into. So let's go ahead and get to what Misa has had to say. If you don't know, then now you know that Misa is one of P. Diddy's baby moms. Misa actually was she's a former assistant and also a former stylist of Diddy and other artists within Bad Boy. I want to say Jodeci. But nonetheless, she has spoken out and it has taken a lot of people by surprise. She posted these two stories. She is the mom, if you don't know, of Justin Combs. So Justin Combs' mother is Misa, and a lot of people have a lot to say about her speaking out. Let's go ahead and get into this now. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So let's go ahead and read. Let's go ahead and read what she has to say about the situation. Right. So she says here, I'm heartbroken that Cassie must relive the horror of her abuse, and my heart goes out to her. I know exactly how she feels, and through my empathy, it has triggered my own trauma. These young people were raised by women that want the best for them. We put God and education first and have always been united in our mutual effort to support their dreams. Two of the youngest do not have their mother here, and it has been our duty to support them. Their father needs help, and I'm praying that he truly does the personal work and receives it. So this is what Misa had to say. A lot of people were wondering if she would speak out, if any of Diddy's baby mamas would essentially speak out. And this is what she had to say. And I thought that it meant something. Some people feel like she was quiet for too long. But again, if you're unfortunately connected by Diddy in a way in which you can't just detach and go on about your business. I can totally understand feeling like you're in danger. Reminds me of the Mary J. Blige and the Little Kim conversation that we were having the other evening. Um, and here it goes. And it plagued the question, are Mary J. Blige, Lil Kim, and other women who were close to Diddy, prior or present, are they obligated to publicly condemn him? Because they're currently getting a lot of hate and facing a lot of pressure to speak out and to condemn him because they were once either under his wing, close to him, his friend, etc. So a lot of people really wanted to hear from the mother of Diddy's children. I personally, if you don't know, I feel like it is unfair to want Mary J. Blige or anybody, but Mary in particular. There's one person where I'm like, listen, she's been a complete and absolute advocate for domestic violence. She's actually been a victim of domestic violence in her life, and to put her under that type of pressure, we don't know what triggers her. We don't know if her seeing the video of Cassie triggers her having to try to prepare a statement triggers her. And it's really like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because people want to force people to be advocates for the things that they care about. You have to, I feel like people have to understand with these parasocial relationships. Number one, where society is entitled to certain behaviors from celebrities, whether it be, I should be able to get a picture with you, whether you out at Cheesecake Factory or whatever, and you don't have the right to say no to me. If you say no, you're mean. When no, I was chilling with my people on personal time. I don't feel like taking a picture with you. People are entitled, and they're like, oh, there's so much that we are entitled to as a society when it comes to parasocial relationships. And when it comes to serious things of this nature, we really have to keep in mind that advocates of really serious situations, DV is nothing to play with. We're not talking about like a piercing advocate, because those exist, right? A lock advocate, they exist. Homeschooling parent advocate, they exist. We're not asking for that. We're asking for an advocate for domestic violence. And that's a very serious thing. And everybody can't be, just because you were a victim of DV doesn't mean that you are capable of being an advocate of DV, because we don't know where you are within your healing process. Hello, let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second. If you're still in the midst of trying to heal from your trauma, you may not be in a position to be an advocate of DV, because you might spiral into a point where you're just venting about your situation. You might bust out crying while you're trying to help somebody else. You really have to allow people who truly have a passion, the background, the education, the training, and the experience to truly advocate for DV or whatever subject. Allow them to do it, because what will happen when you start pressuring people into advocating for the subject matter that you want them to advocate for, if and when they miss the mark, then you're dragging them too. What they said didn't sound all the way right, or what a true advocacy statement or whatever sounds like and what theirs sounds like, and this just doesn't meet the mark, and now you're dragging them too. Just because I was dragged down the hall by my hair doesn't mean that I'm an advocate for other women of that nature. I might be able to connect with them because I've experienced the same thing, but that doesn't mean I'm an advocate, because you don't know how long it might take me to heal from that. And with me being a person who has experienced DV, I have to catch myself. I would never consider, I won't say never, but I wouldn't consider myself to be an advocate for DV. We had a caller call in on the last show who actually called in and admit that they used to put their hands on women. And they said things along the lines of, well, you got to forgive Diddy. People who start off as women beaters don't end their lives as women beaters, and blah blah blah. And I had some really good advice to give, but just because I had good advice to give in that one video, in that one moment, based on those 2 or 3 talking points that person has, doesn't qualify me to be an advocate for domestic violence. And I know the difference. And I wish everybody else did. Just because you got your ass beat a time or another by a nigga doesn't mean that you're an advocate for domestic violence. You are a survivor. But are you really able to help other people survive, escape, cope, heal from the same thing? Are you able to recognize those things in real time, or is that going to trigger you and put you back into a place where you're not really you're not really right, or you're not letting them talk because you venting about your situation because you still haven't healed and you still got stuff to get out about it. People need to understand this. So, like, y'all might want these people to speak up, but these people ain't certified domestic violence advocates. Just because they experienced it don't mean that they advocates, and it doesn't mean that they want to speak out at any given time that you want them to speak out. They may speak out if and when they're ready. They might put a statement together if and when they're ready, and if not, that should be okay. But for the people who are and there are so many people who say we need to stop putting celebrities on a pedestal. Okay. You want to stop putting them on a pedestal, but you're also expecting them to speak out about the things so that they can agree with the things that are bouncing around in your head. So if we need to stop idolizing them, why are you expecting them to speak out about something? Why? They're not on a you feel like they should because they're so big. What that's putting them on a pedestal, right? So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I could be talking nothing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's see. What are we talking about? Okay, we are getting into we're getting into Dr. Umar. Child, Dr. Umar Johnson has had some things to say about Diddy, and I feel like some of it has been taken out of context, and I'm not. The thing about it is, I ain't gonna lie, I find Dr. Umar to be funny as hell, but I don't really find him to be impactful as hell. I don't really feel like all that he does in general is for the betterment of us. I feel like he's a troll. I feel like he's right 2 times a day, just like any other broken clock. And that's that. So let's get into his statement and how he's doubled down on that, because he's caught a lot of backlash. Honestly, he's gotten a lot of backlash, and he's doubled down on it. So let's go ahead and get into this, okay? And if you haven't already taken a moment to hit like on the video, to hit the thumbs up button, to subscribe, this is the time to ensure that you do so. Otherwise, I'll just delete my channel if you don't hit thumbs up, right? Right. Okay. Obviously, I'm joking. Woo, I've had a channel involuntarily deleted before, baby. I ain't doing it again. All right. So let's get this bigger on the screen. And what Dr. Umar is saying is, he says, I'm not going to give this too much energy, as we have far more important issues to address than what happened 10 years ago. And with him referencing 10 years ago, he is speaking about the footage that was leaked of Diddy brutalizing Cassie. Dr. Umar continues and says, however, this isn't the end for Diddy. TD Jakes will help him set up his own mega church. He will be saved and baptized and will probably make more money as a pulpit pimp than he ever has as a mogul. Puffy will rise from the ashes and be born again. Do you agree with this? Yes or no? Put a 9 if you agree with it. Put a 8 if you don't. Put a 9 if you agree with what Dr. Umar is saying, and put an 8 if you don't. Put a 9 if you agree with Dr. Umar is saying, and put an 8 if you don't agree with what he's saying. Let's see what y'all talking about. I see 8s. I see 8s. Okay. Mhm. Okay. I see 8s. So, Dr. Umar Johnson has gotten a lot of backlash for this sentiment. And, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Stickies. I don't quite understand the backlash. I understand what he's saying, although I disagree with just one sentence about, well, he's going to make more money as a pastor than a mogul. I disagree with that sentence. But I do understand what he's saying in general. So he's gotten a lot of backlash because I feel like a lot of people have misunderstood him. Essentially, what he's saying is, listen, you're going to be able to use religion and come back, quote unquote, born again and make a whole bunch of money in the pulpit. That's what he gonna do. That's what they do. It doesn't mean that Dr. Umar agrees with that, but he said TD Jakes is gonna welcome him into this, and he's gonna be a part of this mega church situation. He's gonna hide under the cloth and say, "I've spoken to God," and all this, that, and stuff, and he's gonna make a lot of money. Now, while I agree with that sentiment because some people have done that before, but I think a lot of people misinterpreted this as Dr. Umar saying that he thinks that this is what should happen. And that is not what was stated here. I can make it bigger again. You can screenshot it, read it again for yourself. He wasn't saying that this is what should happen. He wasn't. He even used the terminology pulpit pimp. Did he use it here or in the clip or in the thing I'm about to show? Baptize more money. Oh yeah, so pulpit pimp. You can actually see it here, and not the last line at the bottom, the one above that. A pulpit pimp. A pulpit pimp. That's not a positive. That's not a positive label, right? It means that you're taking money from people in a way in which you shouldn't be. And so basically, Dr. Umar is predicting that Diddy is going to be able to utilize religion in a way to come back and still monetize and have some sort of influence and still whatever. So that's his prediction, right? I don't necessarily agree with the prediction, but I feel what he's saying because a lot of times when people are disgraced, when they fall from grace, religion, pastor, this, and people let them back in and they're able to rise back up. So is this what I predict for Diddy? No, because this media storm is worse than R. Kelly. Like, and y'all know I covered the R. Kelly trial and I covered it very well. I covered it very well. And I'm very detail oriented. And at no point with the R. Kelly trial were there three to five different headlines coming out about him each and every day. Yes, there was a lot to go through. Yes, it was a tizzy. Yes, it was a media storm. But this is a bit different. And I truly don't think that Sean is going to be able to recover from this. I don't think Puffy is going to be able to utilize religion in order to recover from this. But I do feel what Dr. Umar is saying in the sense of, you know, these people in the music or the entertainment industry, they get called out, they get exposed, and then they claim God and they end up being in the pulpit. Hello, look, do y'all know that Bishop Whitehead was arrested the other day? He's in custody. Bishop Whitehead being able to even consider himself to be a bishop when he is like the worst of the worst felons in Brooklyn. Hello? So let me get into the doubling down of Dr. Umar Johnson. So with this, someone sent him and Dr. Umar posted this himself. Okay. So someone sent him a text message and said, listen, Umar, you really need to clarify with people your position on Diddy. This is not looking good. And even the non-conscious amongst know his actions are foul and not questioning the validity of the charges were Cassie dark-skinned. Child, I'm not sure if I even understand that sentence. Let me try it again. This is not a good look. And even the non-conscious amongst know his actions are foul and not questioning the validity of charges were Cassie dark-skinned. What? Bruh, the ancestors are not pleased. This sentence is not making any sense to me. And not questioning the validity of charges were Cassie dark-skinned. Like, what? What does the color of Cassie's skin? Well, you know what? I kind of do see something. But it still doesn't make sense here. Because Lunel spoke to that, and I spoke about that in the last video. Check the last video out if you haven't already. So Umar says, good Garvey Day. I don't need to clarify anything. I don't live in the prison of other people's opinions. I said that man may very well rebuild his lifestyle as a celebrity pastor, as so many others have done. Mace. After falling from grace. That is absolutely nothing to do with his guilt or innocence. Furthermore, there are non-celebrity Black women being unalived, beheaded, stomped out by police, and sexually trafficked every day in this country who have yet to get any serious consideration from the media. And when those sisters are dark-skinned, they seldomly get any attention at all. I don't give a fuck about what you politically, I don't like that word, but he said carded, I'll say. Racially disloyal, spineless YouTubians have to say about me. Hashtag the real God's son. Well, okay. You told me, you told him. Umar.
Education, special education, psychiatric medication, juvenile incarceration, emotional frustration, and premature extermination.
He told us, didn't he? Damn. But no, I get what he's saying. It would take nothing for him it would take nothing for him to become a celebrity pastor. It doesn't make it right. Of course it's foul, but this is the pattern that we've seen take place when entertainers are disgraced and exiled from Hollywood. They then sit and hide under the cloak of religion, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So I think that comprehension was, I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody that misunderstood it, right? It's like, would you rather have $7,000 or would you rather have $7,000 or $70,000 in pennies? A lot of people will rush to their calculator right away to figure out which is better. But the fact of the matter is, the question was, do you want $7,000 or $70,000? The question about the $70,000, it just said, do you want $70,000 in pennies? Do you want $70,000 or do you want $7,000 or $70,000 in pennies? Oh, baby, give me the 70,000 in pennies in a heartbeat. I don't care how you give me 70,000. Just give me 70,000. But it can, it can be, I don't want to, you know how you can have an optical illusion? So some people are just like thrown off and they're not understanding the question the right way. So I think a lot of people misunderstood what Dr. Umar had to say, and what he was predicting could potentially be Diddy's next move, really. So, are all of y'all enjoying the show? Child, are all of y'all enjoying the show, baby? Because the fact that the show is continuing to go on, I'm happy and I'm pleased. I'm also surprised and I'm also shocked because the way the internet was trying to get in the way of this show, it really should be studied because I was ready to fight it. All right, so we do need to get into Slim Thug. Please drop your pancakes down below in the chat if you are still enjoying this show. We do still have a little bit more to go. Not too much, but just a little something left. And then we have another video to do after that. So it's a lot going on. So please be sure to drop some pancakes in the chat and we will be right back. Get into this Black-owned business, Srickies. It's got things for inside your home, outside your home, and even on the go. JasmineMadeIt.com is your new destination for Black Girl Magic mugs, tumblers, and even wine glasses. You can even customize the tumblers and wine glasses. There's a lot going on for a low price over at JasmineMadeIt.com. And if you've been serious about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. Let JasmineMadeIt.com handle all your problems for family and friends. You ever had a friend over and they just wasn't catching the hint or paying the rent?
Y'all asses all get to stepping.
Yeah, tell them to get to stepping with this nostalgic Martin-themed doormat and shop over a dozen different doormat designs over on JasmineMadeIt.com. All right, Srickies, you know what time it is. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and shop Black today.
Make life easier for you and your household by taking your family's hot or cold beverages on the go with one of these unique tumblers. It's insulated to keep your beverage at temperature, and it comes with a few different reusable straws and even the specific brush that you need to wash it so you can keep it sanitized and germ-free. They've got all kinds of designs to match your mood or style. So grab something for your wife, the hubby, or even the kids over on JasmineMadeIt.com. That's JasmineMadeIt.com, and I'll see you over there.
All right, and don't forget you can use code Jane for 10% off over on JasmineMadeIt.com. There is no minimum purchase requirement. So be sure to head on over there if you're trying to get something for yourself or somebody else, whatever the case is. I've definitely got several things. Actually, my cup from JasmineMadeIt.com is right here, and I'm actually about to order a few more. So let's get into Chow. Thank goodness he is the last thing. It's just Slim Thug is just so disgusting to me. Like, he is extremely disgusting. But we need to get into the things. Actually, you know what? Do I even have these clips of what Slim Thug had to say? Yes, I do. Here they are. Let's take a listen, Stickies. Drop pancakes. Hit the like button. Thumbs up. Let go.
I don't want to see a black man who came so far, almost to $1 billion, fall down. That's our inspiration for. It ain't too many of us. I don't want to see they took Kanye down. We forgot about Kanye, and the good thing he.
Another, I don't want to say crazy because it's kind of dismissive of whatever they have going on, but just a man who refuses to take care of his mental health when he has all the resources, the money, the access, and everything else. But go ahead, because taking up for a man like that just lets me know that you fall in the same bucket as him. Keep talking.
He able to do his own, man. That's how I look at it, man. We losing another billionaire over allegations at this point. Still ain't no criminal charges. You know what I'm saying? We only got about 1 billionaire left. Who? Jay-Z? That's the only motherfucker left. Everybody else. Let's take the person off of it and who that person is, right? Man, listen. If look at who is wishing this dude fail. You know what I'm saying? It's his own people. It's his own people cheering him, laughing, and Diddy did it and coming up with new slogans for him. It's his own people, man. Like, so take note of this. Man, you would think the motherfucker, he thought a year or two ago when we were popping Ciroc, he thought that we would ride or die for him, man. Like, he thought that the motherfucking world of hip-hop would stay down and over, especially without him having a case. Like, especially without him having a case, he would think, hey, man, they're gonna ride for me. I live for this hip-hop shit. I lived and died this shit. The hip-hop community is gonna ride for my innocence. He would assume, I'm sure. Say if he did that, then whatever he get. But so far, I haven't seen no criminal charges. So out for that, I'ma just sit back and hope for the best, I don't want to see nobody go down, man. And for people to celebrate that, love that, want to see that, it's weird to me, man. So, like, it made me want to stay in the house. And people you would never knew they existed want to see this man, whatever. If you work for me, if I came up under you and you over me, fuck you. I don't want to do no business with you. Fuck you. I don't want to see you in the streets. But do I want to see you go to jail for life? Nigga, like, you help me, you're part of my play, regardless if I like you or not. Like, I don't agree with that coming back and getting Bill Cosby, coming back and getting Puff. I don't believe in that, man. When shit go down, speak on that shit right then, or it's out of it. It should be null and void. You shouldn't even have no type of nothing. You shouldn't be able to do shit unless you let the people know what happened immediately. There should be a time limit on this shit. What happened was you got around them motherfuckers stand up on love shit. This is what happened. I'm gonna tell you what always happened, right? You was with a billionaire with all this bread all this time, and then you went followed your heart to with a trainer. That motherfucker Apartment got smiled in the bitch. That lifestyle fell off. Now it's struggle time. The love wearing off, and now you trying to come up with ways to figure out how to get paid. Now I'm healed and I can talk about it. I want to expose niggas in my books. You did that. You participated. You ain't say for nothing. You did that. So stand on that, man. Quit trying to expose people for money. Like, what the Nah, that apartment got small. You and that dude you left for love. You let your homegirls hype you up when you was with him. You let them homegirls hype you up to tell you, girl, he treating you bad. He cheating on you. He messing with them girls. Don't let him embarrass you like that.
So I got a lot to say about this, because what's really interesting is he done issued his little apology to Cassie after saying all this shit right here and saying that y'all don't got no evidence to speak on Diddy, so these is just allegations. But listen, this is a pendulum. This is a pendulum. You said we don't got no room to speak on Diddy because these just allegations, but you spent a lot of hypothetical speaking on the woman that you felt like was a gold digger, and you felt like, oh, because she left Diddy and she dealing with a nigga in a different tax bracket, that she's upset that the lifestyle ain't the same. You went on and on and on and on. I said on and on and on and on. You went on and on about that. So how can you speak about that one side and say we don't have room to speak about the other? Because the truth of the matter is you're speaking about the fact while telling us that we don't have the right to even talk about the cause. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, Thug. For real. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. How is it that you can, you talking to your homegirls, you let your homegirl, what is all this homegirl? Were you there when she was talking to her homegirls? This is the proposed effect, right? But were you there for the proposed cause? Because the proposed cause is all up and down lawsuits. You talking about she was talking to her homegirls. Where is that even in a lawsuit? I'm just trying to understand. Did he got y'all shook? Like, what is you getting? What's the benefit? What's the benefit of you sitting up here talking real heavy on the woman's side about how wrong she is, but saying nobody has the right to speak about Diddy? What does he have on you? Are you one of Diddy's boys? Yeah, he like that daddy. Is you calling Diddy daddy? Like, what's happening? I'm trying to understand, because this is not making any sense. It's not making any sense to me. And I guarantee you, anybody understanding my voice, it's not making any sense. I'm just trying to understand how you can talk endlessly and on and on and on and on about the effects and how you imagine those effects that have gone, but you feel like nobody has the right to speak about the cause. How the hell you gonna speak about the effect and feel like I don't got no room to speak about the cause? But let me tell you about this effect. This is how it went. And it's bullshit. Miss me with this, Slim Thug. Is you on that zimp? What's going on? You look. Let me stop. Just because I'm upset doesn't mean I need to take shots at your bodies. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm just trying to understand. It makes me wonder if Diddy got you shook. Do Diddy got you spooked and nervous? Like, what, or is this just bro code for bullshit behavior? You hear that your nigga been in some bullshit. You low key know that he guilty, but it's just part of the blind loyalty type of bro code game that y'all do, that y'all just go ahead and take up for him and say ain't nobody got the right because these just allegations. But you talking about her feeling like her new man is in a different tax bracket and she feels like the new apartment is too small is really just an allegation that you made up, but you got the right to speak on that. I'm really completely trying to understand. It's really interesting how men it's really interesting how men prior to the video leak, y'all were a lot of y'all, obviously not Slim, very apprehensive to speak out. Cameron being one of them, very apprehensive to speak about or to speak out on your abusive counterparts in the cause of this scenario. But a lot of the men were actually able talking about how the women were gold diggers. They just looking for a payday. Stevie J being one of them. It's mighty funny how these same apprehensive men saying things like that ain't none of my business, head ass niggas. They got a lot to say about women coming forward later and filing civil suits or criminal charges. Oh, now they're gold diggers and they hoes looking for a payday. Or y'all was saying shit like, oh, they knew what they signed up for and they knew what it was, or she ain't no damn victim. She knew what was going on. That's the effect that y'all willing to be so vocal about. But that the cat got your tongue when it comes to speaking about the effect. Because after she's hurt based on all of whatever you do, oh, y'all knew what y'all was signing up for. Y'all quick to speak on the effect, but when it comes to the cause, oh, I don't know, that ain't none of my business. Oh, that's real interesting to me. That's real interesting. You know, but if she's not a victim, then you're implying that the alleged abuse never took place. She ain't no victim. Well, then that means there was no abuse. So that means you're also defending him. So basically, you're implying that the abuse never took place. So basically, you're taking up for the nigga, but you're not trying to say it. You're just saying, oh, that's none of my business. But these bitches be gold diggers. They just looking for a payday. Why don't you want to go on record and say that then? You willing to imply a lot of stuff, but you're not willing to go on record and say anything to defend your mans, but you're willing to say a lot that's going to defame and drag the woman through the mud. You're willing to defame and drag the effect of the situation, but you're not willing to defend the cause. But you are doing things to imply that the cause kind of sort of never took place by saying that abuse never took place. I need y'all to stop. Y'all are afraid, and the reason why y'all are afraid to go on record and truly defend your man's out in such a way that's not as direct as what Stevie J did. Stevie J. Let me see. I think I still have this Stevie J. I think I still have this Stevie J clip.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
Curtis, what's good, man? You and your feelings about Daphne? Cause she would gang them? Or is it that you sucking little Rod dick? However it go, I want you to fade, nigga. Fuck all that. Since it's entertainment, let me beat the shit out of you on TV or something. Don't duck that. I'm calling you out. What you want to do, Curtis? Curtis! I don't know whatever someone does in their bedroom, that's what they do. I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm just here to say that I've never seen my man doing anything foul like they talking about.
None of it. All of it. I mean, you know.
I've never seen it. I've known him for 29 years. And then it's like with guys like 50. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom cats like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to put me. I don't know if y'all saw the post where 50 posted about me. Of course, you guys seen it. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. I mean, 50 has been going after Diddy and everybody associated with him for months now, ever since the Cassie lawsuit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you can't brush under the rug. I don't see anybody reporting about what Tatted Up Holly said about him beating her up and about, you know what I'm saying, his other baby mom said beating her up. I just look at it as, you know, he wants to bring the black community down worse than anyone else. How is that so? I said what I said on my post, and I'm standing on that too. Now, since he didn't accept what my offer to him, and he want to continue to be a comedian, why don't you go make some movies with Michael Blackson and don't talk about me?
Okay.
If you don't want to fight, if you don't want to donate to charity, donate the bread to charity and fight.
And see, it be these men bringing up charity and positive stuff. You know, we was talking about Cameron earlier. Positive. After you do some fuck shit, after you do some bullshit, then you want to say, oh, they don't want to talk about the positive stuff. You didn't make it a point to ensure. You didn't have a representative that was ensuring that any interview that you did was about your positive, because surely it wasn't about a positive. It was about a male enhancement product that you have so that you can fuck plenty of women. And it was about your podcast. So now that you're looked at in a negative light, now you want to say, oh, let me think about any positive stuff that I have proximity to. Mace be doing positive stuff. Let me talk about him since we're on the podcast together. That's Cameron. Then you got Stevie talking about some charity, and he's not no positive. He's not about no positivity either. He's not about no positivity, but they love to deflect from what they're truly being challenged and questioned about, because Stevie J himself has some violence in his background. Does anybody know why Evie stay committed? Do we know why Eve broke up with Stevie? Don't worry. I'll wait. It's because he was putting his hands on it and he was abusive. Also, have we seen the videos of Faith Evans in the hotel room when, just like Diddy had that video of him filming somebody under a blanket and it was Cassie? Come out from under the blanket. Let me embarrass you and humiliate you. That is a form of control because nobody wants to be seen in a certain type of way online. Stevie did the same thing to Faith Evans. Stevie is no different than Diddy. Is no different than Diddy. So stop it with the deflection. You might be fooling some, but you ain't fooling me, baby. You can bring up charity all you want, but that's not your lifestyle. And that's not what you're about. And you know who Diddy is behind closed doors and in front of people. It's been 30 years y'all been doing this entertainment thing together. So stop it.
Don't stop being a girl and talking about dudes. I find it funny that, you know, when they first try to crucify somebody, they go through the media first. And they're just flooded with lies and propaganda. I'm not concerned about this Curtis. I mean, this dude Curtis. You know what I'm saying? He's Uncle Tom, and that's just what it is.
You are concerned about Curtis and you're uneducated, because Uncle Tom is actually a very respectable guy. And a lot of people misuse that term and you don't even know that.
I'm going to speak on 1,000% of what I know to be true about my guy.
Child. Last thing I need to, what is it? The last thing I need to get into is this statement that Slim Thug made. Here it is. All right. Let's take a look at this. This is the apology he gave to Cassie after all of the nonsense that he was saying. Okay. So Slim Thug ended up saying, damn, Diddy, I tried to ride with the black man who had no charges yet, but I can't stand behind this. I'll take this L. But I still will ride with my people until I see some sort of proof. I don't believe in blogs or civil suits. I was telling y'all that in the last video that he said he feels like, yeah, if you want to come out years later, sure, but y'all shouldn't be asking for money. Yeah, okay. Apologies to Cassie and whoever else was on the right side this time. So now he don't believe in blogs or civil suits. Knowing that this statement would. Okay, child. Okay, Slim Thug. Baby, we don't give a damn about you anyway. Slim Thug, we don't care. The only reason I know who you are is based on you being in the Beyonce song. I'm gonna watch you check up on it, boy. Let me check what you really. They be popping, twerking, stop it, check on me tonight. That's the only reason I know. Other than that, don't nobody give a damn about who you are. And therefore, your sentiments are just that. But when they were as egregious as they were, as, oh, Diddy is so big, he a black, and Kanye, and like, shut up. Like, you blindly defend these men and then defame these women and then say there's no evidence to really, talk about Diddy while you're defaming women, and there's no evidence to defame them either. Clearly, you were defaming Cassie and the lawsuit, and you had no evidence to do that. You had nothing but assumptions in your mind. So I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I think there's this odd level to bro code, and some of these niggas are morally corrupt as hell until it comes down to their daughter, until it comes down to their mother, until it comes down to their sister or their aunt or their nieces. It's just this extremely blind bro code. We gonna talk shit about these women if you ever get brought up on charges. But when you get brought up, I'm gonna say I can't say nothing. If you can't say nothing about what Diddy was doing, then you can't say nothing about the effects and the women that were involved too. Hello, like, let's be real here. So those are my thoughts on, on all this happening. All right. Those are my thoughts. What are y'all thoughts down below in the comments? Srickies, I truly pass the question off to you. What do you think about all that has been going down with Diddy? You've got this Cameron situation. You've got Dr. Umar speaking out and doubling down. You've got one of Diddy's baby's mamas speaking out. You've got Slim Thug saying things, eating his words, taking L's, issuing apologies. There are so many things transpiring right now. It is a complete revolving door pertaining to all of the news surrounding Sean Puffy / P. Diddy Combs. And I really want to hear what you think down below in the comments. I really want to know. All right. So what we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close this video out. There is another video coming shortly after this. Channel members, use your special emojis down below. If you are not a channel member, just drop some pancakes and also share the video, hit the like button. We'll be right back. We'll close this out and then we'll get ready to come back for our next video, which is a really big deal. We're reading through the court documents of P. Diddy's sixth accuser, who is accusing him of not only sexual misconduct, drugging her, sexually assaulting her. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into the court documents. It is definitely a big deal. So without further ado, drop some pancakes. Okay.
thePLAINESTjane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with thePLAINESTjane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm thePLAINESTjane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, black news,
Black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with the plainest Jane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, it's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me, all right? Act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods and the plainest Jane is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
Buy pumpkin, buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
it's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. And we are back. Listen, I have had an amazing time here with you all today. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next 30-40 minutes for the next video. Listen, be sure to tag me in all of your favorite trending topics on Instagram and on Twitter. My name is just as you see it right here on YouTube. The only place is different is Cash App, child. It's THA on Cash App, not THE on Cash App. And, you know, that is that. So like I said, if you want to donate to the collection plate, because I do such an amazing job and I'm so dedicated to you all, you can donate to the Cash App, but it is not required. You can use this QR code, or you can just $THA, plainest Jane. But listen, it's not about money here. Please support the channel by subscribing, by liking, by sharing with somebody, text message, Discord, group chat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. However it is that you share videos, be sure that you share this video with someone. Listen, I hope that all of y'all stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. And let me tell you this. As long as you are better than the person that you were yesterday, then you're doing the damn thing. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces. But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.